What's up, y'all? I'm about to show y'all how I make my fried rice to go with my hibachi that I'm about to mukbang. Okay, so I'm using Kerrygold garlic and herb butter. I've never used this before, but it's getting used today. I'm gonna fry this up. So right here I have about a tablespoon of ginger and a tablespoon of garlic. Mix that all in. Some onions. I'll use about just this much. They use this much. All right, here I'm gonna put some soy sauce in it, you guys. I have my heat kind of high. It's on 7. I got some oyster sauce. It's concentrated, so be careful. You might put too much. Let me put the little egg in there now. Sesame oil. So, bye. I think that's good. Okay, you guys, I have some chicken right here that I'm gonna cook up. Then I also have some beef. This is sirloin steak, you guys, cut up into chunks. All right, so I'm gonna drizzle my griddle with olive oil. What up, y'all? It's Tasha and I'm back with another video. As you can see, today I have hibachi. Y'all saw me make it. I feel like the steak is a little overcooked. I threw it in the air fryer. I don't care, whatever, it's good though. Chicken, rice, here's the veggies. I also want to ask you guys to subscribe to Steph and Tasha Vlogs, and just Tasha P. That's my new channel. I'm about to get it in. Oh, today I am gonna do a story time I don't have a fork. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna eat with my hands. A few of you guys asked me to do some story times. Now, what I'm gonna do, this story time is going to be like how I had Elijah, pretty much. Some of you guys already know, some of you guys do not. So for those that don't know, I'm gonna tell you, and for those that do know, you gotta hear it again. You might hear something different, because you know when you tell stories, you don't tell the whole thing sometimes. So let me go get a fork. I'll be right back. I'm gonna start eating a little bit. Let me try this without, and then I'll tell you, start the story time. Okay. Y'all know my story times be all over the place. So I might back up. Might get off topic. I might even say something I'm not supposed to say. That's good. Let me put some of this ginger sauce on this meat. And I'm gonna want some of this. All right, here we go. I love this samyang. You guys, if you make fried rice, throw some samyang chicken sauce on it. It is so good. To some people. To me. That ginger sauce is good. I forgot my mic again. Let me drink some soda. Did y'all hear that? Excuse me. See a steak, little chewy. I'm not a steak cooker at all, so expect me to be chewing like this anytime steak is in front of me. Anyway, I'm gonna start the story time while I eat. So when I was 20, yeah, I was 20, I met this chick, this lady. She wasn't no chick. I met this lady who was 38. She did lie about her age, which should have sent me a red flag, but it didn't, because that's another story time, okay? I'm gonna give y'all another story time. Should have been a red flag, but it wasn't when I found out how old she really was, which was 38. She lied about 3 years. Any lie is a lie, okay? Excuse me. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. I ain't gonna do that. Never again. Don't cook me. I don't need to cook steak. Okay. Let me tell y'all. Met the lady. I had been single for about a year and a half. And she was pretty much my second girlfriend. So we get into a relationship after, a few months of dating or whatever. And I moved in with her. Not really intentionally, I was just always over her house. And eventually we just lived together. So we in a relationship. Fast forward about, now I had always wanted a child. I had always knew I was going to be a mother. So fast forward a couple of years, 22, we started talking about really, having a kid. And it was going to be me, because at this point, she was already 40 or 41 or something. Her son was a couple of years young. Her son was 2 years younger than me. So, of course, we decided I was going to be the one to have the kid. I wanted to go in vitro. She wanted to go natural, because she felt like an in vitro baby, something was going to be wrong with it. That was what I think that's what she really believed. Because she would say things. Yeah, from 17 to about 24, I kind of was dressing like in between. It depended on, like, for instance, I dressed kind of, masculine when I was in high school and after high school, but I got with this female, that was a soft piece of meat, steak. I got with this girl that told me to stop dressing like that, basically. She was just like, well, woman. She was like, I don't want you dressing like that. You look good as a girl. Other people were telling me the same thing. Oh, you look cute like a girl. You look cute. At 17, I just decided, okay, I'll start dressing more feminine, because, I don't know, just listening to people, right? So anyway, with that being said, men tried to talk to me all the time. So, when me and my girlfriend decided to have a kid, all I did was act like I was straight, Now, remember, I'm 21 and I'm thinking, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be, or 22. I'm like, okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna do this. She wants me to have a baby the natural way, you know, whatever. So my first thing was, okay, I'll just act like I'm straight and, you know, get with a dude, you know, and just do something with him and you know, get pregnant. You know, that was my first thought. So I hung out, you know, when a guy tried to talk to me, I would let him talk to me. I would get his phone number. And well, I'm saying I would let him talk to me because before I would just be like, no, I'm gay. So at this point, I would be like, oh, okay, get his number. And I did this with like 3 guys. All of them were young, you know, all of them were my age. So there was one boy, I think he was younger than me, like a year younger than me. And he was cool. We went out a couple times, hung out or whatever. And I respected him. He was a cool person. So instead of me doing what I thought I was going to do, which, first of all, let me tell y'all, when we hung out, never kissed him, never hugged him, never did any of that. So I remember then just out of the blue, I was like, you know, I want a baby. Can you help me out? You know, he didn't know that I was gay. I didn't tell him that. I just told him, you know, I wanted a baby. And he was like, well, you know, can I get a kiss first? He was like, I want to kiss and have some romance. He was like, I want to, you know, do stuff before I have, you know, a baby. And then he even, I remember him saying something to the effect of like, give him some months, give him a few months. And in my head, I'm like, what am I doing to this boy? This is a young man, my age. I think he was one, like I said, he was a year younger. I was like, this is a young man and he likes me, you know, or thinks he likes me or whatever it was. And I was like, I'm not about to do this to this boy. So I ended up just telling him, I think I just ended up like not calling him anymore or not talking to him like that anymore because I knew what was up. And I was going to kind of like do whatever and then walk away, you know? So I met, in the same time period that I met the little boy, I met these other 2 guys that were, you know, around my age also, maybe a little bit older. And one of them, I remember I was talking to him or whatever, and I feel like, now all of, like I promise y'all, all these guys, never was I affectionate with them or anything. I really just hung out with them, we had conversation. We like kind of fake dated, because I remember maybe going out once or twice, we would hang out with their friends or something like that, but they just didn't get anything from me. It was 3 dudes. One of them I went to the movies with. Okay, went to the movies with him. Went back to his house. I was downstairs. He went upstairs for whatever reason. I went to his house or whatever. He called me upstairs from downstairs or whatever. He called me upstairs. And mind you, y'all, he tried to talk to me. I believe this is the first time I ever hung out with him. Or maybe the second. He called me upstairs and he had, you know, something explicit on the TV and he was doing stuff, right? I was like, whoa, when I closed the door and went back downstairs or whatever. And then, I don't know if he came, I guess he came downstairs and I was like, oh, you know, I'm about to, he didn't drive me there. I think I drove myself there. So I was like, oh, I'm out, you know, I'm about to go or whatever. That's disgusting. You disrespectful. Which if I was a girl, if I was straight, I still would have been offended because why are you doing that to a female? Why do you feel like you take a female to the movies and you think she about to do something with you? What is your problem? Like, that's sick, you know? So anyway, and when I left or whatever, and then I remember him calling me and like begging, and I don't know why, y'all, but he was calling me. He was like, and I appreciated the apology because I guess he realized that wasn't cool. He was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that. I would never do that again. Blah, blah. You definitely won't, nigga. But, you know, whatever. So forth and so on. So then there was a guy that tried to talk to me when I was like 17 years old. He lived in the neighborhood, which was Inglewood. He was always around. I would always see him at his job or whatever. And he tried to talk to me when I was younger. When I was younger, I believe I gave him my phone number. And because when I was 17, I was like not 100% sure, even though I wasn't like sleeping with any men. I was sleeping with women, but not men. Excuse me. I still don't think I was 100% sure if I was going to be gay or bisexual, you know? So I was just like, okay, I'll give guys my phone number. So I remember giving him my phone number and talking to him. I guess I wasn't interested. So anyway, so then I see Elijah's donor, where I would normally see him anyway. And I just went up to him and was like, what's up? And I didn't know him, but I had seen him around all the time. So, I don't know. I just went up to him and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm not 100% sure how it happened because I didn't know him like that. But maybe I talked to him and something, or whatever the case was, I was like, hey, I think I might have just been upfront right from the gate because I wouldn't have small talked to him. I was like, what's up? You're physically attractive, like the kind of guy that I would want my kid to look like, just the shallow stuff. And the biggest thing for me was that he was tall. I think he was like 6'2". So I was like, oh, if I have a son, I want him to be tall for whatever reason. So, and I told him I said, I've already like talked to somebody else and, it's a younger guy. And here go the other fork. Where did the fork? Y'all, was a fork on my plate the whole time? Because how do I get 2 forks? We ain't gonna talk about it. Somebody saw it and just was like, Tasha, your fork is right there. Anyway, so I went ahead and told him that, and I told him about the younger guy, and I was like, I found this young dude. I was like, but I don't like do that to nobody young. He was like, yeah, you don't need to do that to nobody young. You could just, I'm cool, I don't care, blah, blah, right? So I told him that it would be, what it would be. It would be actual, the natural way because, I don't know, at the time, that's what I could afford, okay? Not necessarily. Me, personally, that's what I could afford. My girlfriend could have afforded it, but she wasn't with that, so I told him that. And I told him, I was like, it's going to be a couple times. I had already been taking care of my body, like taking prenatal vitamins, all this kind of stuff just to prepare myself. So I told him, and soon, I was like, I just need you to go get checked. And I want to do it. I don't remember when it was, but I told him the time, like when it was, because I knew I was checking my ovulation and everything. So I told him when. It may have been like 2 months later or something like that, or a month later. And I told him it was going to have to be 3 days out of that week. And I just told him all that, right? So I ended up going when I remember it was 12 days after the first day of my cycle that I did this. So went and did it and came back home and was distraught a little bit. I was not really, now it's not because, it was horrible. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with, that was just something that I didn't want to do. I wasn't depressed or anything. Don't get me like, oh my gosh, no. It was something I didn't want to do, being that I was in a relationship already and being that he was a male, that wasn't something that was ideal for me, So I was a little irritated by it. Went to the doctor, told the doctor, I think I got a disease, which I didn't. It was just, I didn't like the whole smell of it. Sorry, it just wasn't for me. So went to the doctor. I was like, I think I have a disease. Doctor was like, you ain't got no disease, ma'am. You're fine. Relax, little dyke. Okay. So, because I told the doctor what happened. So then also after that, I told my girlfriend I wasn't doing it anymore. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it no more. She was like, no, yes, you are. She was like, you didn't just go do that to just be doing it. You're going to keep going, because what is it? Is that what you wanted? And I was like, no, I can't do it. I don't feel comfortable, blah, blah, blah. So then she was just like, okay, there's nothing she can do about it, right? She can't force me to go do something. So I chose not to do it again. And he was calling and I was like, I'm good. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just don't want to. And he was like, I can't remember what he said. So then, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I started cramping, but these cramps were a little different than I had normally had. And it was before my period was even supposed to come, days before my period was even supposed to come. Because I was cramping this way, I was like, you know what, let me go check. Let me do a pregnancy test. I was too excited. I just wanted to do it. Even though I knew I wasn't pregnant, I knew it. I was like, there's no way I could do this one time and be pregnant. There's no way. I ended up taking the pregnancy test, and I was pregnant. That's what it said. It said I was pregnant. And I told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm pregnant. She was like, you lying. She was so happy. And she was like, you lying, you lying. And I'm like, nah, that's what it says. So she made me, she was not playing, okay? She was like, we going to the emergency room, because it was at night. I'm like, I don't need to go to the emergency room. She was like, yes, you do. You go to the emergency room and tell them you cramping. And I said, okay, fine. Took me to the emergency room. Told them I was cramping really bad, which I wasn't. But anyway, I did it anyway. Sorry, emergency rooms. I wouldn't do that again. You know, anyway, so I went and they told me I had, I had an early pregnancy and a urinary tract infection. Thanks, dude, because I know you gave it to me. But anyway, I was pregnant and I had a urinary tract infection. Early pregnancy, that's what it said. And then, boom, I was pregnant. Called my family, not that day, but I called them. They didn't believe me. My sister was like, yeah, right. And I was like, I'm pregnant. My mom was happy. Everybody was, you know, pretty much happy. I was happy. And 8 months later, 7 months later, I don't know how many months later, Elijah was born, and he was this beautiful, healthy baby boy. He stayed in the hospital for a month, though. He was 3 pounds, 8 ounces. He stayed in the hospital for a month. He was the only boy in NICU. And so he had a lot of girlfriends, y'all. And I don't know, that was the happiest day of my life, the day he was born. I was scared because the doctor first told me that he was 1 pound, but she was wrong. My sister, because the doctor calculates it by kilograms, and she looked at the kilograms and didn't know what she was talking about. Oh, let me tell y'all. So I didn't even go into labor. What happened was my water bag started to, or my amniotic fluid started to like release for whatever reason. So I go to the doctor and they tell me that it's like emptying out. So I went to the hospital and they wanted to check me in, and they was like, okay, we're just gonna have her have the baby. So they gave me oxytocin, I forgot. They gave me something to induce my labor, and oxytocin, I think. And they gave me shots, okay? They gave me painkillers because I was in so much pain. But they were like, we can't give you too much, girl, but they had to keep giving it to me because I was in so much pain. The baby didn't come for like 10, 11 hours. I remember going to the hospital at night, and I didn't have Elijah until 3 the next afternoon, which was horrible because I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't sleep. But they kept giving me stuff because they didn't want my blood pressure to get high. So luckily they gave me drugs because they didn't want my blood pressure to go high, and I was in so much pain, but I still didn't have enough because I needed more. Anyway, nobody was there when I had him. Not even the doctor, y'all. Okay. I told them, I said, I think I'm having the baby. Nurse came in, nah. Another nurse came in, nah, you good. But nobody looked. I put my hand down there and I didn't feel a vagina, okay? I felt something else. It was just open. It was just a little shiny. It was a head. So I called for another nurse. The third time I called for another nurse, and I was like, can you please just put your finger down there? Can you please just put your hand down there? Because I think I felt my mucus plug. And that's when the baby is getting ready to come, I believe. So she went and she looked, and she was like, oh yeah. She left, and everybody came in. My doctor hadn't even made it to the hospital yet. So I ended up getting delivered Elijah ended up getting delivered by the nurse. But I'm happy she delivered him because I like the nurse. Anyway, that was a long conversation. I think I did more talking than I did eating. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all like the story time. If you want some more story times, let me know. You guys can definitely ask me questions about a question that I can make into a story time. Like, for instance, how was your childhood? Or, for instance, what is your favorite thing that, I don't know, something that could lead into a story time, you guys. Oh, when was your first girlfriend, or your first kiss, or your first fight, whatever. Remember, subscribe to Just Tasha P, Steph and Tasha Vlogs, and Steph and Tasha. I don't know what page this is coming out on. And I don't know. I hope y'all have a good day. I'm about to try to have a good day. I love you. Bye.